Now I'm sort of thinking that if I had just used super glue, a bit of super glue also with this normal glue, it would have stuck faster, because this plastic has bonded with the cork here pretty nicely, I can tell. But the glue is still, like, I can move it around, which is not too good. But let's kind of work around it. Let's try and work around this problem as best as we can. And again, the general idea here, maybe what I'll do is I'll draw it out, guys. How about that? Let's actually do a little bit of drawing. I have this scrap piece of paper. Let's just draw on this scrap piece of paper and kind of rough out the general idea of what I want to do for this. Let's also get out a big honkin' pen so that you can actually see what I'm doing. Let's see, is this working? Is this gonna work? Uh-oh, this is not gonna work. This is my fountain pen, but I think it may have dried out. Crap. Easy. Okay, let's try and dip it in some water and see if that does anything. Yeah, it may have dried out because I haven't used this in a while. Okay, so here's the plan generally, right? Now, I'm not going to draw this super detailed, it's just sort of a rough. But here is Borborgimos. Not slide, have you ever tried to use that pen to apply washes or panel line? I haven't. This pen here, the ink, I believe, is water soluble. I'm not 100% sure, but I haven't tried that. That is an idea there, Not slide. In fact, that might be something to investigate further. If I were to do that, I might purchase another pen. This one here, it might be a little hard to see, but it's a bit stubby. It's not as fine as I'd like it to be for the point, and I think this is currently the finest point that I have. However, now that you're mentioning it, I think I have. You guys want to see some artsy fartsy stuff? Part 2. Last time I was streaming, I showed off all my brushes. Now let's take a look at this. This right here is like my nibs, my ink and nibs collection. Not slide, I use a fountain pen to apply my panel liner. I just dip it into my Tamiya and let it rock. Ooh, okay. Yeah, maybe we could do something like that with this then. This is what I do a lot of drawing with this. It's a calligraphy set, and this is actually a very, very fine nib right here. Much finer than the one I'm presently using. And yeah, I use this for drawing, but that might be something to try. As far as nibs go. Wow, it broke though. the tines broke just now because it's just so fine. I think this one I attempted to file it and sand it down myself, but I do have other ones that are in better condition, like this one for example. So yeah, maybe we could try something like that for panel lining. I have used a brush for panel lining models. I have used like just a normal brush, but yeah, that's pretty cool. This is the nub on mine. Let's take a look. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, so that's actually fairly close to what I was showing just now. Yeah, that would be much better suited to the job than this. This has a bit of like a chisel tip, which is not too good. Okay, we're drawing. Oh, let's actually shake this a bit. Might be a good idea to shake it. It's friendship bracelet. Okay, that's a little weird, but whatever, it's okay. There we go, guys. Beautiful. There's Borborgimos. And now I'm trying to come up with the general idea for his base. So let's actually just pencil that in. We'll do some brown pencil, and we'll kind of figure it out as we wait for this to dry. Cute. Wow, there it is. Wow. So night trap with the wow. So here's the actual rocky. That's too cute. Maybe I'll toss this into Photoshop and kind of make it look a little better just for funsies. Okay, so there's the rock that he's currently standing on. That was fast too, yeah. I always remark how Set Vanilla is so fast. But yeah, I guess I whipped that out pretty fast. I was looking at it off to the side as reference, but okay, here we go. So now the plan. So currently I have glued 2 pieces of cork to the base, and they're kind of like rectangular looking, right? And so now the plan is to, once this is glued and dried up, we're going to kind of cut into it, you know, carve into that into those blocks of cork, and sort of continue this kind of profile of the rock as it is currently to kind of create this look of a cliffside, right? So just imagine it's all rocky and it's got all these weird angles and textures and stuff. And then we're gonna continue it. Oh, and so we'll also need to draw the entire base, and the base is like this big now. It's much bigger, right? I have competition right here. I love that emote. The sliding, coming in face like. Alright. Okay, now we'll just kind of continue to draw the rocky surface. And yeah, I kind of want it to be a cliffside, like he's standing on top of a cliff, overlooking like a majestic, powerful lord. And it probably won't look this tall, given that I've only put 2 layers of the cork. It probably won't look that tall as it is now. And then, how'd you turn this Cyclops into something so cute? He's way less intimidating in my picture. He's just a cutie. He's cute. But you see, actually, one thing though, if you look at his face that I've drawn here, he looks kind of mad, right? When you look at the actual model, he's so not mad. He's just kind of like, hey guys, He's so not mad. He's just chill. Yeah, that's perfect, Estorella. There you go. She drew it. You drew it too. Okay. So now... Okay. Is this a cliche? I don't know if it's a cliche. There's a lot of space on the base, as it is. It would be kind of cool if we could get, like, a dried up tree here, you know? A bit of a tree or two. And maybe it's, yeah, maybe not. Maybe it's not alive. Maybe it's dry. It's kind of like off to the side like that. And the... That's great. Estorella. Yay! Just a dead tree kind of going like that. Very Bob Rossian. Do you guys... That's like the main thing if you've ever watched Bob Ross paint on Twitch. I mean, he's not doing it live, of course, but if you've watched his videos, he's making this painting. It looks totally fine. It's mountains, it's water, it's a lake. There's like a little cabin. It looks fine. He could just stop, and then he's like, "Well, I think we're just gonna put a little tree, just like here." And he'll just like slash the painting like, whoosh. And I'm like, "What are you doing, Bob? Bob, what are you doing?" He just makes this big slash, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, what did you do?" But at the end of the day, it totally looks perfect and fine, and it makes total sense. How does he do that? I'm looking for a black marker. Okay, so yeah, let's do like a... If I can, I would need to look up some tutorials on how to make a tree. I have some ideas in mind on how to do that, but it would be kind of like that. I would use wire, I suppose. And then... Oh, and also the tree has to be small. It can't be this tall. Oh, I just rhymed. Bars. The tree would actually have to be maybe even half this height, because this guy's a giant, right? So everything needs to feel much smaller in comparison to him to convey that sense of his bigosity, his humongousness. So yeah, that's one thing. I'll just make a mental note. Small tree. Now, what else can we do for this? And I drew this cliff here. Ideally, I would like the cliff to be much more pronounced as like an overhang. Do you know what I mean? Kind of like that. In this drawing, it looks pretty much like a wedge, but I would like to have more of an overhang, right? Maybe even coming down like that. And you can take parts of clear plastic. I've seen this done, where you take clear plastic from packaging and stuff, and you melt it into shape, and you can kind of create like icicles. Because, yeah, I didn't mention it yet, but this is supposed to be an icy scene, right? I want to create a frozen Arctic kind of feeling, right, with this, because this is a frost giant. So yeah, if you take bits of clear plastic and kind of melt it or heat it up and cut it into shape, you can create these like little icicles. And I think that might be kind of neat to try. I've never done it myself, by the way. Hype train, hype train, hype train. Create some icicles overhanging. That could be kind of neat, I think. And so yeah, and I've showed this before. Where is it? We'll be covering the base with a lot of this stuff. This is Technical Paint Valhalla Blizzard, which is kind of like a snow paste texture. So we're gonna use this stuff to create a more snowy look. Hopefully it's good. Again, I haven't tried it myself, and I watched some tutorials and it looked okay. So hopefully we can do that. So yeah, here we are with the rocks. And now with the base. I need to I need to think how I'm going to fill up the rest of the base because it's so big now. And I thought that this would be a good size, but now I'm thinking I need to fill up this base with more stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, I could always default to this. This is the actual base that I came with, but I really do think it's too small, right? Ideally something in the middle, but I don't have anything in the middle. Figure it out. You know, maybe we could put some enemy characters. I could get some more... if I posed it like this, actually. So if the model was oriented like more towards the edge. Kentwan, hello, Ipo Dempsey World. What are you doing this stream? Yeah, so for this stream, what's up, Kentwan, by the way? Today we are working on the base for the model, creating something along the lines of like a diorama or base for this model. And I'm drawing and sketching out what I have planned for him. And it's going to be kind of like this. Oh, I see. You're making a base for your figure. Yeah, pretty much. I've done stuff like that. Like an environment. Yeah, for sure. It's the sort of thing where I think that really helps in selling the model and creating a mood for your model more than just painting it. If you paint your model and it looks great, that's awesome. Good job. But if you take the time to do even like a half decent basing job on your model, it can really take a model that's like a 7 or an 8 all the way to like a 9 or a 10. Let's take an example. Let's show you an example. This here is a rider of Rohan. Whoa, and I just dropped him. From the Lord of the Rings. Oh, you're a fan of Lord of the Rings, aren't you, Kentwan? You're probably familiar with these characters here. And yeah, I just based the model. This is like the most standard kind of basing job that I do. Excuse me for my models. Just a bit of like ground texture. Sorry, let's enhance. Just a bit of like rough ground texture, and then some static grass flock. And just that can really make a model kind of look better. Like, you know, like just imagine this without that. Like, it would still look okay, but now that I've done that, I really think it just looks so cool. I love basing. I like to try and take my time in doing a good job on the basing, even as much time as I might take painting the model itself. Lord of the Rings, your favorite trilogy? Yeah, I remember you mentioning that, Kentwan. I'm sure you're quite excited for the new show from Amazon. And here's actually an example of a model that I picked up at a Value Village at a secondhand store. They just had bags and bags of these miniatures, and I was like, cool, I've never tried these miniatures, I've never bought them before. But so this isn't my paint job, but this is like a goblin riding a pig. And the previous owner who made these models, he put these like balsa wood planks of wood, and then he has like it looks like he used some, I say he, I don't know the gender of the person who made these, but it looks like this person used some resin to create this sort of clear looking pond, mud, sewer kind of look, and it's really cool. So yeah, this is a model where, again, I didn't paint this, but I don't feel all that inclined to strip this model and repaint it, because I think that they did a pretty good job. I'm pretty happy with the way it looks already, and maybe someday I'll repaint it, but I might just leave the base as is, because I think that they did a really nice job on the base. It's really cool. And yeah, someday I might try and experiment with resin myself. That might be kind of fun to mess around with. Kentwan, people have been saying the Lord of the Rings show is going to be crap. I've seen the trailer and it's mostly CG, not real action stuff. I don't know how it's going to fare. Yeah, I don't know about the whole CG thing, because recently they just showed some pictures of the orcs, and the orcs are actually just people. Like, it's real actors in makeup and costumes, rather than in The Hobbit. A lot of them were CG, which I didn't really enjoy from the Hobbit series. So the fact that they're returning to a more like natural, well, I don't know if it's natural, but they're returning to like the original trilogy style orcs where they were makeup and costumes. I'm actually very excited about that because I'm the type of person that really appreciates practical effects and makeup and stuff like that. I like Jim Henson movies with Muppets and stuff. I like any time when there's something real for the camera to actually pick up with its lens, and the light, the lighting is really bouncing off of a model, and the actors really have something to act against and play against, rather than like, a couple of tennis balls and they're saying like eyeballs and they're saying like, yeah, this is a big, huge, scary monster. You're scared. You're scared. Okay, let's get another sip here. Okay, we're still figuring out the base situation here. And let's see. Yeah, I was saying already that I'm thinking that we might put this guy closer to the edge, right? Closer to the edge. And maybe we can put 2 more figures close by. Like 2 more human figures close by, so that there's like this kind of like mini diorama thing going on. Although if I were to do that, I would need to kind of, I don't know, repaint the eyes or something, because the eyes are not looking at anything in particular. And if I were to put some figures, he would need to be looking at the figures. So it's something to think about. I'm not 100% sure what I want to do, but I think that putting him off to the side is a good idea, rather than in the center. If he's placed in the center, it's like, I don't know. I don't know if I like that. So off to the side, I think that might be a little better. Vanilla, the base looks like a cake. Yeah, the frosting is the glue. No, I just had cake. Had some cake like a couple days ago. It was actually the first time I've had a cake in a while. It was very nice. Had a bit of a picnic, kind of. Kentuan, like I said, we will see how the show will fare. Like, it hasn't come out and there's still... Well, yeah, I don't even know if, from the producer's perspective, for the people who make are making the new series, I don't know if they think of it as something they need to fix. I think that they're just gonna do what they're doing, and if people like it, like, let's put it this way: if say there's like, what do I want to say? Like, everyone who liked Lord of the Rings right now, 100% of them will watch the new series, right? Just because, like, they just want to see it, maybe even out of curiosity. Maybe they think they won't like it, but they're all just gonna at least check it out, right? 100% of all those fans will check it out. But maybe half of them end up disliking it, right? Which is like which I think is like an overstatement. I don't think like half of the people who like Lord of the Rings are gonna dislike it. But let's just say half of them dislike it, right? So now they're just done. I think that besides that, Amazon is going to actually end up getting way more fans into it anyways, just because there's been that much time, and it's fairly accessible to everyone. Like, it's going to be on the internet and you can watch it one way or the other. And I think that they're just going to get, or in other words, I think that the fans that will replace the ones that have left will be more, I think. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? So here's an idea. We can still have little rocks. We can still have little rocks kind of strewn about as I had been making them, right? Those little rocks. And then I think it might be cool to create something like this would be like the edge of a pond, the edge of like the water, right? And the rest of the base will be kind of like what's the term that I'm looking for? A frozen lake with like big shards of sheets of frozen ice, you know? So here will be kind of some tufts of grass and rocks. I know this is really messy, guys. This is mostly for myself to kind of understand what I want to do. And then the rest of it will be kind of like a frozen water right up to here. Something like that. And I don't really have an idea in terms of how I'm going to be doing that. So I need to think about that. This part, I don't know how to do it. But that's kind of the idea.